in the same way that I'm a binge drinker is the same way I kind of approach everything. I love to see how many beers I could drink, right? So what really started was when I actually said to myself, I'm going to do this weekend without drinking. And I set up an app on my phone, and it counts out the days. And once I saw it hit 7 days, I was like, man, I like seeing this number going up. Let's see how high I can get it. So it's kind of like that self-competition thing.
That's cool.
So it's really like a big motivating thing outside of anything else. It's like, man, let's see how far I can actually take this. And what's crazy is that motivation I had or didn't have when I was drinking to do things, I'm getting that motivation like, let's see how far I can take this in other avenues of life that I had never had the ability to attack before because I was drinking so much.
AJ, my man, what is up, dude?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing good, dude. How are you?
Hanging in, man. Doing good. Best I can be.
Man, it has been a long time.
Dude,
long time.
I was thinking about it. It's had to have been since we've talked. I mean, this is not really face to face, but it's close enough. We have not probably seen each other or talked to each other. We ran into each other at some point, but God, it's probably been
it's like 3 years.
Best of 7 or 8 years. It's
3 or 4 years ago, I think we ran into each other, right? Like at Neville's or something.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was fucking hammered. I'm sorry. I was very hammered.
No, you're good. But other than that, yeah, it's been since like high school.
Oh,
high
yeah,
school time.
For sure. Most definitely, man. Dude, I'm stoked. This is exciting.
Yeah. So for everyone that does, let's jump into it.
Chris,
what are we drinking?
I got the regular liquid. Is that the tea?
I messed up, dude.
No, you're good.
They didn't have. No, I was so tired going into this morning. I'm like, I gotta go get a Liquid Death. I want the mango chainsaw. They didn't have any, so I'm like, okay, I'll get this thing, Armless Palmer. That sounds cool. Not knowing it's not carbonated, and I'm like, dude,
no.
Not a fan. I'm not really a fan, but
I like the. They have that new tea. It's like an agave something. Man,
that's what this has.
Oh, is it?
Iced tea agave vitamins. I wanted carbonation.
That's fair.
So why'd you pick this?
So it's funny. So we're going to get into it talking about sobriety, stuff like that. And nobody really likes seltzer water. I'm convinced. No one really truly likes it. It's definitely a trend. But for me, I think that when I was drinking cheap beer. So, I mean, and I never really loved it. I just like drinking. So this is something I don't love, but it still gives me that gotta go through it a little bit. Kind of gives me that feeling, you know?
Yeah. I heard this I guess fact the other day about like if you're raising a kid and they don't like eating a vegetable or something like that, give it to them like 7 or 8 times and then they'll acquire a taste for it. And that's how I feel about seltzer water. Like it took me like a whole 12 pack to be able to say, I like this stuff.
The amount of different flavored LaCroix I went through before I just finally settled on just sticking with lime is ridiculous.
Dude, they're so good though. That's a staple in our office and on my team at work.
Right,
we always have to have a seltzer. So for people that don't know AJ LaFell, who's AJ LaFell?
That's me. I don't know, man. I mean, we go way back. We went to middle school and high school together. I have carried a lot of different names, and I worked in restaurants forever, serving, waiting tables, running stuff, like just not cooking, but kitchen stuff. Then I worked for a knife company, which still is my favorite job I've ever had. They were fantastic to me and building really high-end folding knives. Then, out of nowhere, met the love of my life. Now, she is a professional hairstylist, has been for 8 years. She really kind of kicked my butt into gear. So sorry, I'm trying to be nice.
You're fine, dude.
And she gave me the opportunity to really follow a passion I've really wanted to pursue since I was about 19 when I first had that initial like seed planted in my brain. But I'm in barber school, and right now it's all about trying to hone my craft, trying to get through school, hone my craft. I've got everything outside of it all set up, got a job lined up. But
nice.
Right now that's who I am. I've been heavy drinker for years, been sober for today is
650 days,
no,
right?
650 days. Yeah. I don't know why I said 200. 650. Yep. It's crazy.
That is crazy, dude. 650 days.
Yeah. And
wow.
Not a drop.
That's amazing. I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah.
Now, what initially planted the seed to be a barber?
So I was working. I mean, you probably remember this. I was working at Cold Stone in high school.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
One of my coworkers, I guess I would say name's Bridget. She was talking about maybe wanting to go into cosmetology, and I was like, "Huh, I should be a barber. That would be really cool." Because I always wanted to get tattooed, and I wanted a job where I could have tattoos and like be punk rock or metal, whatever the hell you want to call it, and just like freedom to do whatever. I don't like suit and tie office job. That's never been for me. I've never wanted that. It's never been my personality. Growing up skateboarder, kind of lawless in general, like kind of like that. But no, and it's really funny how it worked out. I looked at a school when I was 19. I went up and visited the school in Raleigh. If I'd started then, that school would have ended up closing in the middle of my schooling, and I would have lost all my hours because it's hour based.
Whoa.
And then I started cutting friends' hair, and I messed up one friend real bad. And I didn't cut hair until I started barber school now. But I almost started when I was living in Wilmington for a bit. I had a guy that was living with me. He lost his job. He started selling coke out of the house. He stopped paying bills, even though he was probably making money selling coke. But, and so I ended up not being able to afford my place to live, a 3-bedroom apartment, paying for it by myself, paying for school, and I couldn't afford it. So I ended up moving home. It kind of really screwed me up real bad. And then I kind of just gave up on it. And when I got that job at the knife shop, I was like, man, this is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm set. That was a big turning point for me. And then slowly it just kind of was like, man, I don't have this. This is not my passion. This is not what I like to do. It's fun. It's interesting work, but it's not as rewarding as I want my job to be. Because I'm all about money. Money will come. Money is whatever to me. I'm by no means in search of being rich or being, crazy successful. Like, money will come as long as you do what you love. And I was like, man, I've got to figure out something to do. But if we move anywhere, I have no schooling background. I have no degree, anything like that. I mean, it'd have to be find another weird knife shop, which is few and far between. But so yeah, my fiance gave me the opportunity. She said, I'll hold down the fort. You pay your car, whatever, your few bills you have, get a part-time gig, and go to school if you want. I said no for about 3 months. And finally one day I was like, man, if it's still on the table, let's knock it out. So that's what we're doing right now.
Dude.
I owe it all to her, man. She has been my biggest supporter in absolutely every decision I've made, whether it's good or bad. She has been my rock. So I owe it all to her.
I'm about to say that. What a rock, man. That's a blessing. That's awesome. You've always been super artistic. I mean, like always drawing like skateboard logo, whatever in middle school, or I've actually still got some of those things you drew, the anchors of everything. Remember those? I still got those. I do
not, but that's cool.
Okay, I'll send you a picture of them after this.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of stuff you've drawn before still.
That's crazy.
And I think it's cool that you've poured that off into like barber's like an art. Honestly,
definitely,
like, it really is.
Definitely,
and that's right up your alley, and you're gonna kick ass with it.
I appreciate that, man. That's what it feels like. I mean, I wanted to tattoo for forever, man, and it just that industry is really gnarly. And I'm the type of artist I hate doing commission work. I really hate doing it. Somebody tells me to draw something, it just immediately makes me not want to draw it, even if it's a cool thing. It's just like I just want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Like, I mean, if you could see my table, I've got embroidery stuff, I've got linoleum carving, printmaking, I've got paints, watercolors, markers, everything all spread out here, just because it's random little things that I want to get into and try out things. And it's just the commission stuff just ain't for me, which is all tattooing is for the most part. So,
well, I'm glad you found your passion here. I can't wait to see it, man. You have to take care of this bald head sometime, man.
Dude, I mean, hey, we'll get you a nice clean shave, man. Let's go.
I realized I needed to shave this morning. I got back in the shower. I'm like, oh, I cannot get on this thing with AJ. He's in barber school. Cannot show up with a toilet bowl haircut on this
Bro,
thing.
I'm wearing a hat. I mean, my hair, I'm in the process of trying to grow it out, and it is
at least you
wild
can
right now.
So when did you realize that maybe the things you were doing or the drinking was getting to be a problem?
A lot longer ago than I'd like to admit. So I didn't start drinking until I was 19. I was, I grew up in the church. I was very involved in that whole lifestyle for a long time. And
we were straight edge.
Yeah, I mean, I never claimed it, but yeah, technically, yeah, straight edge. Not for really the right reasons, but that's just my opinion. I won't get into all that. But and I went through a real hard time. I had my grandfather passed away, and the girl I dated all through high school for 3 or so years, she left me out of nowhere, and it just sent me into a spiral. And all my friends were drinking, partying, whatever, like at that time. So I just kind of fell into that, man. And at the first time, it was harmless, fun. Every couple weeks we'd have a party, get together, drinking underage, like trying to get people to buy us beer, the whole shtick. But it wasn't until probably when I moved to Wilmington when I realized, I was like, man, I'm drinking a lot, but I was also having a lot of fun, which is terrible. But yeah, I was drinking a lot in Wilmington, and when I moved home is when it got to where I was drinking alone, and I was drinking by myself. And it wasn't like a couple beers, it was like house in a 12-pack and whatever my parents had in the fridge when I moved back home. And that was 4 or 5 nights a week. So you're adding up, you're 70 beers a week. And I never got to the point where I would like need if I was like shaky. I was never addicted in that sense, but it was the binge drinking. And that's when I really realized I had a problem, but I wasn't in the right headspace to do anything about it. So I've struggled with a lot of mental health and depression for years and years and years. And before I ever sought help for that, I kind of just, settled into that lifestyle as like, oh, this is kind of just what I'm going to end up doing. Like, this is just what I do. You know what I mean? So it was a long time ago before that I had the guts to actually stop.
Yeah. Was there like a specific moment, like a breaking point when you're like, this is too much. I can't do this anymore.
It was, so when I was working at the knife shop, I had quit drinking during the week. It was only Fridays, Saturdays. But when I was saying I was drinking Fridays, Saturdays, I was drinking Fridays and Saturdays, to where I would drink all night Fridays, sleep till 2, get up, start drinking at 5, drink all day Saturdays, and ruin the whole weekend. Between me and my fiance, we didn't do a lot of things because, and also it was COVID, but still I think that kind of hurt a lot of people who do have alcoholic tendencies or addiction tendencies. But it got to a point where I was hungover for about 2 days. Me and my fiance missed doing some event that we wanted to do, and she kind of set me down. She was like, hey, we need to do something about this. We kind of need to do this. And what's crazy, it's something I knew, but I didn't want to admit to myself, and that's kind of the whole big thing. Admitting to yourself you have a problem, you have an issue with this substance or that substance or drinking or whatever it may be. Maybe it's food, maybe it's, something that's not even really a drug, But it was that. And what's crazy is, like, I've had real bad nights drinking. I ruined some really good friendships. Luckily, I've been able to restore a lot of them, but I made some big mistakes. And what's crazy is those weren't my rock bottom. My rock bottom wasn't, just downstairs here, drank a whole bottle of whiskey by myself, and Carrie Ann was up all night making sure I was still breathing because I was, real messed up. Yeah. That wasn't my rock bottom, which is crazy. It was just like, I think it was cumulative rock bottom rather than one specific point.
Interesting. Okay. So what was like the first step into you saying, I'm going to go down this journey of sobriety?
So in the same way that I'm a binge drinker is the same way I kind of approach everything. I love to see how many beers I could drink, right? So what really started was when I actually said to myself, I'm going to do this weekend without drinking. And I set up an app on my phone, and it counts out the days, and once I saw it hit 7 days, I was like, man, I like seeing this number going up. Let's see how high I can get it. So it's kind of like that self-competition thing.
That's cool.
So it's really like a big motivating thing outside of anything else. It's like, man, let's see how far I can actually take this. And what's crazy is that motivation I had or didn't have when I was drinking to do things, I'm getting that motivation like, let's see how far I can take this in other avenues of life that I had never had the ability to attack before because I was drinking so much,
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted years that I'm trying to make up for.
But being able to channel that into something greater and knowing that you can accomplish that is huge.
Dude, absolutely, man. And that's I've read a lot about like recovering addicts and stuff like that. And like addicts have this energy about them. It's an addictive like personality disorder, or not disorder, addictive personality. And I think it's really interesting that you see a lot of ex-addicts. They're still technically addicts, and anyone who says they're not an addict anymore is lying. You're always going to be an addict. It's not a bad thing. It's just your personality. But a lot of these addicts will transform that or transfer that addict energy into something else. Like my biggest inspiration when I was first getting sober, I'm sure you've heard of him, Matty Matheson, the chef.
Mm-hmm.
He was an addict. He was real bad off on drugs and everything, and he took all of that energy and put it into building this empire. He's got restaurants on restaurants and TV shows and everything now, and that was so inspiring to me to watch someone that, you know, I ain't no bodybuilder. I don't know anything about damn fitness. Like, I'm just a chubby tattooed guy, and I was like, I relate to this man. Like, I could do this too, you know? So I'm kind of in those beginning stages of like, I mean, even though it's been almost 2 years, it's still every day is a learning thing, a learning process. It's still choosing every day. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do anything stupid. Let's focus that energy that I have on something else.
Yeah, 2 weeks away from that. Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah, we're getting there, man. We're getting there.
So not one drop since that first day.
Not one drop. It was my buddy Jake's. It was his bachelor party thing. We went to Drive Shack up in Raleigh, and we had one of our buddies who makes a lot of money. He said, "Hold tabs on me." So we just went in. We went in hard, and we stayed up all night drinking. And that was the last time.
Really?
Last drop. Mm-hmm.
Went out on a bang though, so that's good.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I had a great time. I don't know. I'm not good at golf by any means, but it's fun swinging a club when you're drunk.
Dude, if you grew up or we grew up, it's just in your blood, man. You
Exactly.
can swing a club.
Dude, I didn't play. I lived on a golf course growing up with my parents. I never played golf until I was probably like 23.
Are your parents still in the same spot?
Same spot, man. Still living there in Seven Lakes. Oh, I probably shouldn't dox them, but shit.
Whoop. That's awesome though, man. That's cool. Yeah. How are they doing?
They're doing good, man. My sisters are out of the house. They're doing good. My dad's he's got his little John boat. He goes out fishing all the time. He's still working. They're both still working, but they're getting towards those like golden years where they're like, all right, let's start doing some fun stuff. So
that's awesome.
It's cool.
Glad to hear it.
It makes me happy to see.
Cool. So through this last 650 days, what have been your biggest struggles? Like, I'm sure you've been tempted, right? I mean, it's foolish to think someone's not gonna be tempted, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I wouldn't lie. I would be lying to you if I said that there's still not temptations. You know, it's like I said, it's that daily kind of affirmation of like, no, I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to like slip. Some days it's easier. Some days it's harder. But the biggest things was definitely social settings. And that's where I started gravitating towards seltzers because I realized that it's not so much what I'm drinking. It's having something in my hand. That's why it was LaCroix. It's Liquid Death. I mean, even these of you look like Modelo cans, you know? Like,
yeah.
You could say, like, I got a funny story about that. But you could, I mean, just as long as you're sitting there, got something in your hand, you feel like you're part of the crew, you know? Even though I've had nothing but support from everybody. Nobody's ever given me any sort of slack, like, for wanting to quit drinking or quitting drinking and stuff like that. But, which I'm very lucky to have that kind of support system around. But, no, it was definitely that. It's social settings, weekends, definitely. When I was off work, like, that boredom sets in. When you don't have anything really going on, you're sitting at home, you're like, and that was my big thing. I was sitting at home, drink, watch TV, or just kind of bullshit around the house. But, yeah, it's been tough in situations. Going to shows sober was weird. Going to, like, hardcore shows or, like, any sort of show was weird to get used to. Because the first thing you do, you walk to the bar, get a drink. That's just kind of what you do. But luckily, Liquid Death is everywhere now, so I have this weird can. But
yeah.
Speaking of the story, I got pulled over, and I had the white Liquid Death can in my cup holder. I got pulled over on US 1, and the guy, I was talking to him. He's like, "So, what's up with the open container?" And I looked. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I wasn't drinking at this time, anyways. So I looked. I was like, "Oh no!" So I pulled up the can. I said, "Man, I'll tell you, it's just Liquid Death mountain water." And he looked at it. He grabbed the can. He was like, "Well, I'll be damned." I was like, "You thought you got me, huh?" He said, "I really thought I got you."
Dude, they do look kind of funny. I'll walk around town, like we'll take a walk outside the office. I'll just be walking with it, and people are just looking at me like, "What's this guy doing on
this boy's housing a Modelo at 2:30 on a Wednesday?"
Yeah, who cares? Get my week started.
Right.
I think it's cool that you've had a lot of people be very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope a lot of people would have that same kind of support system, but I'm sure a lot of people get flack from their friends who party all the time. Yeah. What kind of advice would you give them to put themselves in a better situation? Or how would you tell them to approach those friends about what they want to do? Because that's probably a fear. It's like, my friends are going to not want to hang out with me. And I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but.
Definitely. And that's when you really have to sit back and like analyze your friends. And that's a hard fucking thing to, sorry, God, it's a hard thing to do.
You're good.
Yeah, I mean, you realize like when you quit drinking, you have drinking buddies. And when you're drinking with those drinking buddies, you think you're a lot closer than you actually are, you know? So there's a few people that like, it's not that I cut them off. It's just that like, we didn't have that in common anymore. So we just kind of like drifted apart, which is a natural occurrence that would happen, you know, no matter what. But I think that as long as you have the good people, like good, solid folk around you, they're going to support you. If they're your friends, they'll support you. It wasn't nerve-wracking as far as what I thought they would think of me. It was more nerve-wracking of like, can I do this? Can I be around all of my friends and not drink? And they made it incredibly easy. So that really, really wasn't a struggle as much as it could have been for me. But as far as advice, yeah, I'd get something cold in your hand. Just sit and hang out. You could pretend it's a beer, and I promise you, it might feel weird, it might feel strange, but I swear when you wake up in the morning and you feel good, you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you feel fine, you're going to be like, yeah, that was a good idea. That was a good choice to make yesterday, you know?
That's awesome.
So it's all about trial and error, man. Like, I don't know how I was able to stick with it the first time I tried, but I know a lot of folks that they'll get a few months, they'll slip. They'll get a few months, they'll slip. And that's it sucks, like, to think about, but it's like, you're not starting over when you slip. You still have those 3 months you did sober. Like, holy cow. So it's just like, it's just a little asterisk. It's not a whole reset. It's not whatever. It's just a little whoopsie daisy, you know? But you still have those 3 months or 6 months or years or 10 years, however long. Like, I don't know. Not saying I'll never drink again. Maybe one day I might drink again. I don't know. I don't like planning stuff. So,
yeah.
But right now,
that's a good perspective shift.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what everybody needs.
Exactly.
And it's got to be aligned with how you want to go about it. And you mentioned before that boredom was a big thing. Like, have you developed any other habits or any other hobbies in lieu of drinking?
Definitely. And I think that it's more so because I'm in barber school, I watch barbering videos all the time. Like, if I'm at home, there's nothing to do, I'll do these little things around the house, whereas before I'd sit on the couch and drink. You know, we have a small little place, there's not a whole lot to do, everything's kind of up to date and not broken, thank the Lord, knock on wood. But, I mean, and also, I'm a lazy son of a bitch. I love sitting down and just watching TV, but I mean, like I said, it's just after pattern and routine, and I think it's been almost 2 years, looking back, I probably don't remember the struggles as intense as they were, like that, because I'm not used to that feeling anymore of like really wanting to drink. But no, just art stuff. I started painting a lot more. I started embroidering, like weird stuff, like, and just going outside, just doing that, sitting outside rather than sitting inside, just little things like that. And it's all personal. Like, your thing could be, you like organizing, so organize your whole kitchen, or like work on your organization of just the house, just little things like that, and you will find the time for it when you're not drinking, because you'll sit there and like, if you really like make that decision in the morning, like, I'm not going to drink today, you'll find something to do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So as far as inspirations, you posted Caleb Shomo a while back when you first hit 300 days, I think. Mm-hmm. Is he went on the same journey you did too, right?
Yes, he is. He was a little. Oh goodness gracious! I probably shouldn't fidget with a quarter on a glass table. But no, he posted something somewhere when he got sober. He's a little bit behind me, so he quit drinking after I quit drinking. But him being on the platform that he is, and I mean, he's someone I've loved his music for forever. I mean, Attack days way back when,
Oh, dude, the glory days.
Right, exactly. But yeah, watching his journey, what he's turning his entire career into, with that kind of like emotional shift that Beartooth is taking from that real dark, heavy stuff to like a more light and positive switch. I mean, there's a couple new songs he's put out that have like, the first one, Riptide, was like
so good.
It was perfect. It needed it exactly when that came out.
Yep.
it was fantastic. But no, he's definitely a big inspiration. I like watching what he's doing. He seems to be really in the right headspace to attack his sobriety the way he needs to attack it. But it's funny. I think it was my birthday. Carrie Ann got me a cameo of Caleb.
Oh, sick.
Congratulating me on my whatever year, month, or whatever it was sober. But yeah, it was really cool. Definitely Caleb Shomo. Matty Matheson, like I said before, he's a real big inspiration. His rock bottom, he had a heart attack at like 24, like
That's
just from
insane.
like benders of cocaine and stuff. And luckily, that stuff I never really dabbled a whole lot with. But yeah, watching his story, his kind of big rise to the person and like mogul he is today is really super inspiring. Man, there's lots of musicians, just artists, anything in that realm is like that. I don't know, I'm blanking on other people. I'm sure there's so many more that like, but whatever. Yeah, just I and it's really funny. I don't find that like barbering is what I like to do. It's kind of really where I'm feeling driven right now. I don't have really any inspirations as far as barbers. All my inspirations are other different aspects, but I want to take what they do and the uniqueness that they take into their craft. I want to bring my own uniqueness to barbering, and I feel comfortable in the ability and motivation to do that since I quit drinking. So a lot of those sober
Sweet.
influences are inspiring me to do things my own way, which is what you have to do when you're sober.
So tell me about this brand you're building with the barbering, because it's probably maybe similar along with Caleb Shomo and the new direction of Beartooth.
Mm-hmm. So the name is Take Care. Take Care Barber. I'll probably maybe Take Care Barber Co. Something like that. I'm still in the very early processes of it. Right now, it's just documenting my progress of like when I started to now, just haircut pictures. But the reason I chose Take Care is because it's always been my favorite term of endearment when someone's leaving or you're saying goodbye to something. Like you want them to take care, but also you need to say that to yourself. Like, take care of yourself, man. Take care. I need to take care of me. And like I got it before I even started the barbering program. Like I got it tattooed on my knuckles because it's it's just my favorite way
That's
to
awesome.
like express that feeling. But it's about doing good not only on behalf of others but on behalf of yourself. And taking care of yourself may be, for you got to go to the gym all the time. Like, but for taking care of me, like sometimes I just need a good cheeseburger sometimes because that's what makes me happy. Like it's very nondescript as far as what it exactly means. It's very vague, and I like that because I think anybody can take what they need from it.
For sure.
One of my favorite like phrases, I guess, would be "suffer no fool," and it's got that from a Power Trip song, like R.I.P. Riley. That they're one of the best bands in the world. There's a song called "Suffer No Fool," and if you listen through it, you might have to look up the lyrics because sometimes you can't tell what the hell he's saying. But it's about not suffering on behalf of a fool, not letting someone else bring you down, but it's also don't suffer yourself as a fool. Don't be a fool yourself. And I think that's one of the best ways to really it's a good perspective to have in a way, because you're really going to take care of yourself and be on top of your stuff if you're trying not to let anybody else influence you and you have your best own interests at heart, And that was
Definitely.
a big decision to make.
That's awesome. So what are the plans? Can you share the big picture of what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, and it's still all in here right now. It's all just things I want to do, and that changes daily, man. Like I said, I don't like plans. I don't like making plans because it's always, if you have everything set out perfectly, it's never going to happen that way. So you're always set yourself up for failure. So I like just going with it. Wherever it takes me, it takes me. But yeah, I think I want to do like want to be inspirational, but also want to work with different charities, whether it's for animals or LGBTQ rights, stuff like that. I want that to all be part of it. I want probably clothing, attire, little things like that, maybe small tools for barbering, brushes, just things like that. It's not something big as far as like I want to make clippers or things like that. I have no interest in doing that. That's not kind of a thing. People already make great clippers. They don't need another off-brand, But just something, just imagery-wise. I love imagery, just based off art, painting, whether it's old school traditional flash or like some sort of old Western thing or like all sorts of stuff. I love all this weird imagery, and I want to have somewhere to put that and place it and put it together, whether I'm doing the art or commission somebody or stuff like that. But really, I just want it to be about being the best version of yourself, or at least better than you were the day before. That's like the biggest thing for me at this point in my life.
That's awesome. So along with being able to put all this extra energy into the stuff that you want to do, have you seen any other big changes like in your life, in your day-to-day life, or even just in how you're feeling from being sober?
Dude, it is night and day. I mean, you could probably look at pictures of me from right towards the end of where I was drinking, or maybe a few years before. Like, just, I mean, I don't sleep good anyways, but I get bags under my eyes, like just looking dreary, looking down, looking just rough in general. So I've definitely noticed like facial features. I've lost like 35 pounds, which is crazy. I mean, I'm still a big boy, big dog, but you know, I ain't as big dog as I used to be. But yeah, man, definitely it's all 90% of it's mental. It's mental change. It's just having motivation for the right reasons and have it focusing in the right direction. And it's helped my relationship. I mean, we're getting married in 8 weeks as of yesterday.
8 weeks?
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, we were planning this big whole wedding, man, and we just got so sick of it because both of us, I keep harking back to it. We hate planning, so like we're just going to the courthouse. We're just going to knock it out real quick, have a little get together with the family.
Good way to do it.
Call it done and done. But yeah, man.
Congrats, man.
Thank you, appreciate you. But yeah, it's got to be mostly mental, man. It's just waking up refreshed every morning. Gives you that clean blank slate. You don't have any residual like overdraft from the night before that's still like heavy on you when you're drinking. You know what I mean? And you have a clean slate to build the day exactly how you want to. Maybe your day you don't want to do a damn thing. Maybe your day you want to conquer the world. You have that ability. I have that mindset, and like when I wake up, I can do what I need to do with this day, or do what I want to do with this day. You know, whether I didn't feel like tied down or chained to like, oh shit, I gotta go get a beer, or like, oh, I'm going to lunch, oh, I'm gonna have 2 beers, and then I'm gonna want a lot more beer afterwards. Because that was my thing. I was a binge drinker, man. If I had one, it was all night. I mean, I was a 12-pack was light work. It was getting upwards towards the end. On a Friday night, I was housing 18 to 20 beers, which is crazy. Crazy. Yeah. Bad for the environment too. A lot of cans.
As we're drinking out of cans.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. Whoops. Far less of these.
Yeah, very true. These are pretty expensive, honestly. But they're worth it. I think it's cool that you have all these inspirations that are in all these different industries and realms, because it's so easy to be in, like, let's say the music industry and in metal and look at a band like Attila, and it's like, oh, I want to be like this and do this. Is honestly just DJing.
Oh yeah.
And then you just hone down this path. Like, I mean, Warped Tour was. Some people probably don't know what that is anymore, but you can look at that and they're headlining it and you're like, oh, I love Attila. I'm going to listen to Attila. And then that starts to have this effect on you. Or you could listen to Beartooth or someone that has like a positive message, and it's just out there. Like, I guess my point is it's out there. You can always find that inspiration and influence somewhere.
Exactly. And it's so funny, man. I love sad music. I love really dark stuff. I love dark imagery, just things like that. And I've been on this weird, like, American folk kick recently. I've been listening to some weird, sad, like, old, like, folk songs on banjos and accordions and people playing the bones and all sorts of stuff. That's just what I've been into recently, but it's relatable music. And I'm not saying I'm all happy, sunshine, rainbows just because I quit drinking. It ain't ever going to be like that. It's not like that for anybody. You got to make it what you can for yourself. Because, I mean, I still struggle with my mental health all the time. But I like the sad songs still because it reminds me of where I used to be and where I am now. It gives me that perspective that I need to really appreciate the changes that I've made. I mean, and I still love happy poppy music. Like, I walked into Sheetz this morning to get the Liquid Death, and I Want to Dance with Somebody was on by Whitney Houston. I've listened to it 3 times today since then, just like, yeah, I want to dance with somebody. It's just what hit me today. You know what I mean? It's weird, but
that's cool. So if someone wants to get started and really get a grasp on their sobriety, where should they start? Like, walk them through a quick step-by-step of what you think would be the best way to approach it.
Step by step is a really hard thing to do because it's totally different person to person.
So individual.
Absolutely. That first step, I think, is the only common step that's going to be relatable to every person, and that is being honest with yourself. Being honest about how you're feeling, what you're doing, how it's affecting you, and what you know you need to change. And I think that as long as you make that first step, because then once you admit to yourself, say it out loud to yourself, I have a problem. I drink too much. I'm an alcoholic. So once you say it out loud, you're like, oh God, that's like, no, like it's just like a weird feeling because you could think it all day. But when you say it out loud, be honest with yourself, and then do what you need to do to accomplish whatever sort of sobriety you want. You know, you've got your California sobers that still smoke pot. You've got, you know, some people, they get sober for a while, and then they can transition back into drinking like a normal person, you know? And there's nothing wrong with drinking like a normal person. As long as you're not, you know, getting sloshed and sleeping in a ditch on the next to the road like I've done a couple times. Like, you know, it's just not cool. Like, not cool to do that. Even though you think it's cool in the moment. It's punk rock, but no, it ain't that cool when you're getting towards 30. But, yeah, man, it's just all about honesty. All about being honest with yourself. And then those steps will reveal themselves to you as you go and continue that journey. It's like walking through a curtain into a beautiful room, and you see that curtain on the other side. You're like, man, I wonder what's behind that one. Like, you want to keep going, you know?
Awesome. Did you seek outside help too?
Not really. I was lucky. I had a great support system. I mean, just my fiance alone was enough to want to do it. Whether it was for me or whether I was doing it for her, for us, or our future, you know, she was enough to make the change I needed, and really just kind of like set in stone. Like, I didn't give a shit what anybody else thought about it. I was like, if they don't want to be friends with me because I'm not drinking, I don't care. I've got my life here. This is my life. I'm choosing for myself, you know? And yeah, mostly I had to learn to not give a shit what people thought, and had to learn not to care about people's opinions of me. And that's benefited me so much in the long run. Because I mean, look at me, I'm covered in tattoos. Obviously, I want to look fucking cool. Like, you know, like I care about what people think, like, duh. But the older I get, the more I'm like, man, it really doesn't matter. Because everybody's thinking the same thing, too. They're like, oh, what does this guy think about me? What does this person think about me? Like, everyone's going through that, man. And if you say you're not, you're lying. I don't care. Like, I don't know.
Amen.
I'm just going off tangents, man. I'm sorry.
No, I love it, dude. Do you think, I mean, do you have anyone around you that's also like gone through some of the same things you have with this? Like, do you have a support system? I mean, I'm not gonna say like AA, but I'm sure that benefits a lot of people too.
Yes, and I meant to touch on that, but I go down trains of thought like crazy. I'm so sorry, but no, AA is definitely a fantastic thing for some people. It works for some. It doesn't work for everybody. I've looked into it. Not something that interests me. For me, I don't like relying on other people. So having that, it sounds so like convoluted the way I'm trying to explain it. But I like having a support system, but I don't want someone to be accountable for me and me being accountable for somebody else. I don't have time to worry about what you got going on if you decide to drink or not drink. I'm taking care of me. And it sounds selfish, but it's really what you have to do. And so it works for some people. Some people are like that, but some people aren't. And I'm definitely not one of those people. But no, I don't think Carrie Ann doesn't really drink. She will have a drink very occasionally, and it's one. She does not drink more than two. I haven't seen her drink more than 2 drinks in probably 2 years. But having that, not having like someone in the house drinking all the time or doing whatever is really nice. That's definitely a luxury that a lot of people might not have. And I've seen a lot of people talk about where, oh, I'm trying so hard to be sober, but my husband or my wife, like, they drink all the time, and it keeps messing me up. Like, that's definitely something I feel lucky to have. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought. But
no, dude, that's great. No, that's awesome, man.
It's just, once you do it, you will get it. You'll kind of, once you get into it a little bit and you start seeing that progress, and that, like, you'll notice things you don't notice before. Like, the marketing for alcohol is crazy. Like, it is everywhere. And once you go to a bar and you're stone cold sober and you see people tripping over themselves and doing dumb shit all the time, you'll be like, man, I'm glad that's not me tonight. Like, it's just one of those things, man. I don't know. You don't know until you try it. God, that sounds like I'm trying to pitch you cocaine or something.
Well, Luckily, this is pretty good for you.
Yeah, true.
Are you still doing anything music wise?
A little bit. I haven't in a while. It's probably been 7 or 8 months, but me and Jo,
Nice.
we were doing a just a 2-man like garage band, like really heavy, dark, brutal death metal. Just the most guttural, like sludgy stuff you could think of. Just for fun. We were just messing around. We were bored, and we're like, man, let's just try this out and see what happens. So we did, and we made like 5 or 6 songs, but we haven't really done anything with it since. There's been some talks with some other friends about getting like partial of an older group back together that we did, or like starting a new thing, or like I don't know. It's funny you say that. I went to like my first real local show and saw Weymouth play a few weeks ago.
How was that?
It was great. It was awesome, man. They had some lineup changes, and Dustin was doing vocals for them. And it was fantastic, dude. They were so good. It was so much fun. It just sparked like this, like, oh man, I forgot how fun it is to go to little local shows. Like, man, I want to play a show again, you know. But it's definitely something once I have time. I think once I'm out of school and I'm actually making like good money again, like things will start rolling out. I'll have times for other things and stuff like that. But it's definitely in the works. In the works.
Do you want to still be in the metal scene or what?
Man, I don't know. I just bought a pair of wooden spoons, and I've been playing the wooden spoons like
I saw
a
that.
motherfucker. So I don't know what I want to play, man. I just want to do something. I just like doing things. Like I don't know, man. I just like having fun doing what I want to do. I have no like. I meet the expectation for myself pretty much every day as far as the person I want to be, like not drinking, whatever. So I feel like I have this freedom. I can be who I want now. I don't have those like chains of like caring what people think anymore. Like it's just like I can do whatever I want, and it does not matter. Like literally nothing matters. That sounds so dark in a way. That's weird.
Are you still skating at all?
I got a new board on my birthday. My fiance bought me a whole new complete. I've skated it one time. My knees hurt. Not fun. Because when you're top heavy like me, man, it's a lot of weight on the knees. But it's fun. I can't really afford to get hurt. Because I'm raw dog and no health insurance right now. I'm killing it, you know? But
dude, my board's under my desk at the office, and like every now and then someone will get on it or I'll get on it. I'm like, I do not have the balance I used to. Like,
dude, same.
It is crazy.
Man, I tried for probably 20 minutes, well, as much as I could jump for 20 minutes to do a kickflip, and I cannot convince myself to land on it, because I know as soon as I land on the board, it's going to be my head and the concrete, or my elbow and my shoulder and my wrist all hit the concrete at the same time in 3 different directions. So I just, dude, it's tough.
Oh,
getting old sucks, man.
You were nuts at skating, dude. You were.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It sucks to not be able to kickflip anymore. It's a hard thing to swallow, but
well, I only landed it like once, and I was a poser for like 7 years, so it's all right, man.
You were not. Nobody's really a poser. That's not real. Poser doesn't exist. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. But those were fun days, man. Those were fun days.
I remember it was me and you. We were at the Pine Bluff Park, and I landed. First try I've ever tried it, a kickflip manual on that little manu pad that was about this tall. I remember me and you being there, and I like turned around. And I was like, "What the hell just happened?" Like, "Oh my god,
dude! Oh my gosh! I forgot all about that." Did you send me that picture?
Oh, dude!
Oh
yeah.
my gosh!
And that's not even that old. Like, I mean, it's old, but it's like we knew each other way before that. I remember middle school, me and you tripping out over how cool Red Jumpsuit Apparatus was.
Dude, yes. I wish I could.
Still slaps. Still look better.
God, I wish I could, like, I want, like, this Neuralink thing from Elon Musk to actually come out so I can, like, take out these thoughts and these moments of my life and people can watch it.
Yeah.
Like, you and me sitting in the computer lab, like, in middle school, looking up bands like Pure Volume and, like, finding, like, The Devil Wears Prada and, like, listening to Red Parking in the Ozone for the first time or Swords, Dragons, and Diet Coke. Mind-blowing. And then finding pop punk bands like The Main and stuff like that. Oh, dude, what a game changer, like, in our lives.
Right. Dude, we saw Devil Wears Prada play, that was last year. They played with Beartooth, actually. And dude, they are even better than they were live back in the day, man.
Really?
Their new album, I don't really, like, I don't really care for their whole new sound they're going for, but they played Hey John, and they played Des Moines. They played what else did they play? Hey John, and there's one other old track they played, and dude, it was so sick. It was so cool to hear it. Dogs Can Grow Beards All Over. That's what it was. They played dogs.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so cool. It was so good.
Dude, that time period of it was like between 2009 and 2011. Like A Day to Remember dropped Homesick, Devil Wears Prada dropped with Roots Above and Branches Below, Icy Stars 3D.
Yep.
Like all these.
Wow, I haven't thought about that album in a long time. Holy cow.
I know. I remember I got like all three of those at one time, and I put them all in my iTunes, and that was like blaring it in my my little iPod Nano. Like, dude, those were the days, man. That's like all I really listen to when it comes to metal, and I like some new metal stuff and I love Gent. Like Gent is like, oh man, I love that stuff. But I will always go back. Like once a week, I play through the whole Homesick album. I have to.
That's Carrie Ann's favorite band in the world. A Day to Remember and My Chem are her two favorite bands.
My Chemical Romance. Jeez.
We've seen A Day to Remember twice, I think, since we've known each other. 2 or 3 times. I don't know. I'm forgetting. But dude, they are fantastic. They are so good live. It's incredible. It's really we saw Bad Omens, Beartooth, and A Day to Remember at this outdoor venue in Virginia, like last year in August. One of the coolest shows I've seen in a long time, man. They still hold up to this day, man. And they played some for those who have heart tracks too.
Oh wow,
which is really cool.
Who was the most influential band in your life?
The Devil Wears Prada, for sure.
Really?
By leaps and bounds, dude. I was obsessed with that band. I know pretty much everything they put out up until like 2013 or so is when I really kind of didn't like the direction they were going. Then they put out The Act, which was a great record, really good, like new metalcore kind of album. They put out, there's one other, Zombie EP2. Holy cow.
Wait, there's a second one?
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It is brutally heavy. But no, man, they really influenced like style, like aesthetically what I liked. They influenced a ton of music I ended up getting into, and it's weird how it went from like, Green Day and Blink-182 to like really heavy stuff, and then that heavy stuff turned into more alternative punk rock again. Then that punk rock started shifting into like outlaw country, and now I'm listening to somebody play the banjo and a harmonica. Like it's just weird how it all feeds into like this weird like chain of like, just because I listened to the Devil Wears Prada one day, I found this band. Now I'm listening to somebody play spoons and a washboard.
But the thing is, like, we appreciate it. Like, especially being musicians, we can appreciate all forms of it. Like, if it's good, good's
subjective. It's subjective.
Yeah. But I don't know. I would never get away from that metal life.
No,
Dude,
it was such a transformative part of my life that like I can't help but love it. Even if it doesn't hold up or some of it's like really cringy, like lyrics and stuff, I'll still listen to it like, man, it still kind of slaps. Like it still gives
some
me
old
that,
from first to last. Oh, dude.
Exactly, yeah. Holy cow. But yeah,
dude, I remember, and I'm not going to out myself too much, but this, you're probably thinking of exactly what I'm thinking of right now, but this got brought up with my wife the other day, and maybe I brought up another time too because I thought it was really funny after I remembered it, and I talked about it at work. But there's one time I came back from like the beach or something. Side note with music, All Time Low just dropped an album. Was it Damned If I Do, Damned If I Don't? Is that the name of it? No, that's not the name. That's the song on it though.
Is it Weightless?
Weightless, maybe? Yeah.
Is that the song or the album? I don't know.
I know it's a song in there too, but anyways, whatever. But I came back from the beach. We got Taco Bell in like Laurinburg, and then I spent the night at your house, and I sharted. That's the only time I've ever sharted my pants, dude. And I remember you and I were sitting there like on your computer, just like looking up music, like as we always did, like. talking to the bassist of Attila, Paul Ollinger. Remember that guy?
Oh my god, yeah, he was doing dubstep at the time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Oh my god.
So we're sitting there doing this, and then all of a
Whoa.
sudden, dude,
Whoa.
I'm like, "Whoa, hold up, man! Something doesn't feel right."
Oh,
And dude,
I could.
we just
Oh my god.
we laughed. I think we stayed up all night long just laughing at that, dude. Like,
Oh my, I cannot. I totally forgot about
I'm glad I could remind you.
that. Holy. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Laughing so hard, I'm yanking shit off the wall. But man,
Dude.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
we've had
crazy.
a
I
good life, man.
completely forgot about that. Oh,
Looking back, life's been pretty good, at least to me. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Life's been very good. I've been very, very lucky in my life. Very, 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 very lucky and very blessed. Whether it's blessings from the universe or our Lord baby Jesus, I'm very blessed.
Yeah. So, last couple questions. I'm gonna rapid fire some because I like doing
cool.
this.
Let's knock it out. Boom, boom, boom.
Favorite
I'll try not to
flavored
go off on
Doritos.
tangents. Favorite what? Doritos?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, old school Cool Ranch. Gotta be.
All right. Beautiful.
Gotta be.
Beautiful. Favorite cereal?
I don't like cereal. I've never been a cereal guy ever in my life.
Really?
Don't like cereal. Hot take. I know. I get it.
I'm done on that one. Done on that one. If anyone wants to find you, man, and chat about sobriety or the artistic side, music, barbering, whatever, like where can they find you? Where's the best place to reach out to you?
Probably Instagram. My Instagram for my barbering page is X Take Care Barber X. Hardcore,
Yeah.
And my main page, all of it's public, and I don't do anything like that. Is AJ LaFell, LAFELL. I think that's what it is. I don't really know.
I'll drop it all down in the description and everything.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, the barbering page. If anybody's listening wants to follow my journey, that would be the place to really kind of look at. And I'm definitely becoming more active on that page and discussing, talking with people, random people. I love talking to random people. I love talking, obviously, because I've talked your ear off this whole damn time.
Dude, no, I love it. I mean, that's what I want, and I appreciate you being, man, like like you said, you're an open book, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll tell you anything you want to know. If you want to know the last time I started, it was probably like 3 months ago. So don't worry.
I was gonna ask. Well, dude, thank you so much, seriously, man, for taking the time.
Dude, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for reaching out.
Yeah, we need to get together and eat a cheeseburger together or something.
Yeah, good deal. I love a good cheeseburger, man. You're speaking my language right now. I know you got a lot of those fitness guys and big world real estate moguls. I'm like, I live in a townhome. But I do have a little workout bench back here. I don't know if you can see it.
There you go.
It's been there for 9 months. There's so much dust on it.
Dude, it's all about balance, man. It's all about like finding the middle ground for you and trying to do what's best for yourself.
I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly it.
Well, dude, we'll have you on again sometime soon, man. We'll have more starting stories.
Sick.
And I'm excited to see what you do with barbering, man. I know you're a very talented guy, very skilled guy, so I can't wait to see what happens, and you can get me all shaped up when I get all raggedy.
I got you, man. I can do some magic with that beard. I'll get you all cleaned up.
Awesome, dude. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon,
Sweet.
AJ.
Take care, brother. Thank you.